No, that's fine. Julie.
Morning, everyone.
Morning. Oh, just when the rest we were watching last night, and then you can go back with Julie.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
That's all right, Carol. Come on in. It's not important. No answer anyway. No, she must have left early. It's my wife.
She's still in London.
Oh, yes. In fact, I was ringing her to wish her luck. She's got an interview this morning.
For a job?
Yes, for theatrical management.
I didn't know Mrs. Telford was in the theatre.
Well, she isn't really. She's on various arts committees, that sort of thing, but she wants to get more involved.
How interesting.
Yes, well, she may not get it. So, what have we got today then, Carl?
Well, not a lot, really, just routine. Oh, you did mention you wanted to arrange a lunch appointment with Mr. Maddox.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'll do that later.
Right.
Answer that, Carl.
Gentleman to see you, sir. Mr. Felpersham.
Felpersham?
He says he's from the court at Canterbury.
Oh, I better see him then. Thank you, Charles. Mr. Felpersham?
Yes.
Good morning. Will you come in, please?
Morning.
Morning.
You are the manager?
That's right, Mark Telford.
I'm a bailiff from Canterbury County Court, and I've instructions to serve this order on you. It's a Garnishee order attaching the account of John Burton Limited.
Oh, dear. Right, well, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I wish you good morning.
Oh, good morning. Sorry. Thank you.
I know I ought to know what a Garnishee order is.
I used to know it. I'd have to look it up now. You better get Mr. Everly in with it. And bring Burton's file, please.
Morning.
Oh, good morning, Keith. You're nearer the Institute exams than I am. What on earth is a Garnishee order?
Garnishee? Is that one there? Oh, fascinating.
Well, I'm sure it is, if I knew what it was.
Oh dear, it's on Burton's account.
Well, yes, I can read that.
It means he didn't tell us everything.
Yes, I've gathered that, too.
Who's the plaintiff?
Canterbury Building Supplies.
Well, how fascinating.
Look, I'm sure you're enjoying this, Keith. Thank you, Carol. But will you please tell us about it?
It means that Burton is a judgment debtor. Canterbury Building Supplies, at some time in the past, must have got a judgment against him for, what is it, £212, and Burton hasn't paid. So they've gone to court and got this order, freezing all his money in the bank.
But he doesn't have any money in the bank.
It's hard luck on Canterbury Building Supplies.
The fool, the idiot. For £212.
Didn't tell us about this one.
No, and I wonder how much more he didn't tell us about. Have we any checks in for him today?
I'll go and see.
Well then, Keith. So, what would you do about this one?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, we're by far and away the biggest creditors. And quite a bit unsecured. If we bounce all his checks, writs will be issued before he can say knife, and we'd lose the most.
Yes, well, we can't go on like this, can we? So get on to him and tell him to get in here fast before I put a receiver in.
And his checks?
We'll do what the judge says, bounce them.
Well, let's hope there's none with a check card number on the back. There was a fascinating discussion in the Bankers magazine a few months ago about this very point. If a check is given with a check card guarantee, does the bank, in law, effectively pay the check immediately it's given instead of when it arrives in the bank?
Oh. Well, what's the answer?
Nobody knows. Hasn't been tested in court. Oh, perhaps it will be now. No check card numbers.
Oh, thank God for that. I'm sorry, Keith, that the Dover branch isn't going to make legal history, but we've enough to do without all that nonsense. So get Burton, will you? I want him here now.
Right.
Hello?
Mr. Telford, I have the Chief General Manager for you.
Right, thank you. And Keith, get onto the legal department. Find out the form. Hello, sir.
How is it down in Sleepy Hollow?
Oh, very nice. I've just woken up the elves, and the pixies are polishing the toadstools. Good. And a very naughty pixie has just arrived from the county court with a Garnishee order on one of our customers.
Do they still exist? I've never had to deal with one myself. Fascinating.
That's what my assistant manager says. He's enjoying it more than a birthday present.
How much is it for?
212.
1,000.
No, pounds.
What a piddling sum.
Right.
Your assistant, Good, is he?
Oh, keen as mustard. He's already lectured me on all the points to be taken into account, and he's now on to the legal department to tell them what a Garnishee order is.
Jolly good. So you can leave him to cope with it. I'd like you to come up for lunch, Mark.
Oh. Well, this order may be for 200 odd, but a bankruptcy and a bad debt to us of 50,000 may hang on it.
Well, of course, I have to leave it to you, but Jacques Dupont of Mantons has just rung me. He was in town and thought a meeting would be a good thing. We're lunching him.
I see.
And seeing that the main reason, in fact, the only compelling reason for letting you go down there was to look after Mantons, I thought it would be a good thing if you were to be here.
Yes, I can see that.
Good. Well, if you can put a holding action on your little local difficulty, I'd appreciate it if you could manage it. Of course, as I said, it's up to you.
Well, I can see it's important to meet Dupont again.
Excellent. See you about 12:30 then. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. Carol. I've got to go up to London. Could you find the next train for me, please, and order me a taxi?
Yes, of course.
Oh, that was quick.
Well, they're phoning back. The man who deals with it's on another line.
Yes, a central line, I expect.
Could be. I gather you're going to London.
Yes, lunch with Mr. Harvey and the financial director of Mantons.
Sounds exciting.
Oh, not really, Keith. The whole point of this move was to change all that.
Still, lunch at the head office. Can't be bad.
Oh, don't worry, Keith. You'll make it. And when you do, you'll be able to regale everyone with how you coped with the Garnishee order.
Your train's at 10:10 and the taxi's on its way.
Right. Thank you, Carol. So, you'll have to deal with Burton. Now, tell him we're returning all his checks.
Right.
And chew him up. He's really let us down. And for God's sake, find out what other nasty surprises he's got in store for us.
Will you put a receiver in?
Well, possibly, but we need to know everything this time.
And if it is only the 200 odd?
Well, if that is all, we shall probably wear it. But do impress on him. This is absolutely his last chance. If he doesn't tell us everything, he'll move so fast into bankruptcy, he'll be invisible.
Come in.
Good morning. My name's Sylvia Telford. I have an appointment with Mr. Hart.
Ah, yes. Will you take a seat, please?
Yeah?
Mr. Hart, there's a Mrs. Telford to see you.
Ah, thank you very much. Mrs. Telford,
Yes.
hello. How are you? So nice to see you. Do please come on in. Is this for me?
Yes.
Did Michael ring back?
No, afraid not.
So would you try and get him before 12?
Yes, Mr.
Oh, would you like some coffee?
It's all right, thank you.
Well, I'm going to have some.
Fine, thank you very much.
Good. Coffee for two, Pat, love, please. Oh, do please make yourself at home, Mrs. Telford.
Thank you.
Do you mind if I call you Sylvia?
No, not at all.
Good. I'm Tim. So, You want to leave the cosy world of the subsidized theatre and come out into the cold with us.
It doesn't feel very cozy at the moment, I can assure you. Oh, it's Chinese torture time. Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure. But why do you want this job?
I don't know that I do yet. Well, if I'm to be your assistant, I'd need to... Like you, we haven't even talked yet.
Oh, dear, it's me that's getting interviewed. I'm glad I wore a good suit.
I'm sorry, that sounded...
No, you're quite right. Let's play it like that. Look, why don't you sit over here in my big armchair? It's very comfortable. It swivels. Well, what do you want to know, Mrs. Telford?
All right. Oh, do sit down, won't you?
Thank you very much.
Why do you think that you are a good employer?
You don't muck about, do you? Aren't you going to try and put me at my ease before getting to the nitty-gritty?
No, you're on your own patch. If you're not at ease already, I'd rather not work for you.
Fair enough. Why am I a good employer? Well, I offer very interesting work to do. I've got 3 shows on in town at the minute. We're working on another 4. Secondly, I'm very clean and tidy.
Oh, just put that down here, would you? Thank you.
Oh, and the coffee's wonderful. It's Brazilian, ground by Pat's own fair hand. And thirdly, the money's not bad. Thank you very much.
And fourthly?
Fourthly. Well, I'm not a very conventional person, and life here is never, ever predictable. I mean, I didn't know I was going for an interview myself this morning, now, did I? So, do I get the job?
Now, I have one more question.
Feel free.
I have very little experience in the theatre. Though quite a bit on the understanding of balance sheets and production budgets and so on. However, I haven't been involved in, for example, casting, set design, all sorts of other things. Why did you think that I might be suitable for this job?
Well, I know Max Fielding, and he recommends you very highly. And also, I think it's important to have an intelligent, balanced woman who will learn the job than maybe an experienced one who may be very set in her ways.
Why does it have to be a woman?
I couldn't have this much fun with a fella.
Fine. Well, you get the job of being my employer. All we have to decide is when you start.
Thank you very much. I really don't know what to say. Let's say a month's trial. Either side. Just to see if I measure up to the job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, and as I know nothing about my new assistant, what are you doing for lunch?
Well, I was rather hoping to have lunch with my new employer.
Okay. I'll see you at Angelo's at 1 o'clock.
Fine.
Do you like Italian food?
Very much.
Good.
Goodbye.
Well, of course, I was very pleased when I heard. Thank you. But is it not unusual for a man like Telford to go back to a small branch? I mean, he seemed very capable.
It is unusual, yes. And except that we needed a very good man down there to give you the service you require, I doubt very much if we would have agreed to it.
He wanted to go back then?
Oh, yes. Very determined.
Hello, Knight's Bank.
Mr. Everly, please.
Who's calling, please?
Mark Telford.
Oh, yes, sir. I'll put you through.
Hello?
Mr. Telford for you.
Mr. Telford?
Keith, have you got in touch with Burton yet?
Yes, I've spoken to him on the phone. He's coming in the next half an hour or so.
Oh, good. Well, I'm at head office now. Don't hesitate to ring if you want me for anything. I'll be with Mr. Harvey.
Right, but I'm sure I'll be able to handle it.
Oh, I'm sure too.
And how are they treating you down in Dover?
Oh, very cooperative. The county authorities are rushing through the planning permission and everything. I think Telford put a bomb under them.
Good, good. Ah, Mark, just talking about you.
Oh, shall I go again?
Monsieur Dupont was saying what a good job you've done on the county authority.
Oh, thank you.
Good to see you again. Yes, the planning people, they seem to be moving very fast.
What do you have, Mark?
Oh, gin and tonic, please.
Well, you are enjoying yourself in Dover?
Oh, very much. And I'm sure Mountains will be very happy there too.
I'm sure we will.
You must make the most of Mark Telford, monsieur, because I make no bones about wanting him back in the international division.
It's nice to be wanted.
But you are playing hard to get, eh, Mr. Telford?
Not at all, monsieur. I'm simply doing what I want to do. Is that so revolutionary?
It could be. After all, that's all that Lenin was doing, wasn't it?
Thank you.
What does your husband do?
He's a banker.
Oh, really? Well, then perhaps you won't have to hustle quite so hard for money, then.
They must be joking. They'll lend you money against security, but they won't invest in speculative ventures.
Does he work in the city?
No. Oh, he used to. Well, he was based there. He's with Knights. He was in their international division, which meant he was abroad a lot of the time.
Oh. Very nice for him.
Well, he didn't think so. Now he's the manager of one of their branches.
And where's that?
Dover.
Oh. There's really no answer to that.
He didn't blot his copybook or anything. In fact, the banker pretty unhappy about it. He just felt that he'd had enough of the jet life and he wanted something more settled.
In Dover.
He's very interested in sailing. We have a boat.
And you've just got yourself a job in London.
So?
Uh-huh. Are you splitting up?
Good heavens, no. We'll probably see as much of each other now as we did when he was flying all over Europe.
Good.
Why good?
I don't know. Perhaps I like unorthodox solutions to the usual boring problem.
Yes, I suppose it is a usual problem, but to those who are experiencing it, it feels unique.
Oh, of course. That's the secret of the good play. You spot that, you've got a winner. You take a problem everyone has, say old age. Get it a particular dress, call it King Lear, and bingo, you've got a winner. Or Shall I, Shan't I, and you've got a Hamlet. I've always said that play is the biggest commercial hit of all time because most everyone is indecisive.
That's very impressive. So why is it so difficult to spot the winners?
Ah, well, the problem has to be commonplace, but the dress has to be haute couture, exclusive, a one-off. And there aren't enough designers capable of that. So you have to use next best. Buy off the peg. Now, recognizing a great play is easy. It either jumps off your desk or it doesn't. But it's finding a good play that's difficult, because it's a question of fine judgment, just like a dress. Now, the neckline certainly is plunging, but is it enough to distract attention from the fact that the shoulders don't quite fit, or that the hemline's slightly uneven?
Hence the spate of sex plays.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we've gone about as far along that path as we can. The audience isn't distracted by a bare breast anymore. Or full frontal, if it comes to that. So, it looks as if we'd have to find some good plays to earn our crust.
Well, I'll drink to that.
Good. So do I.
So you reckon it'll be 3 years before you're on stream?
Oh, give or take a month or 2 years.
Must be exciting to see such a huge undertaking with so many elements come together and start to work.
No, of course. But I shall not see this one come on screen.
Oh?
No. I retire in 2 years. My board has a rigid policy of retiring members at 60.
Yes, we. Seems a very good idea when you're 40 and itching to step into the next chap's shoes. Not quite so attractive when you're 50. And damned unattractive when you're 55.
Well, it doesn't look so great when you're 45.
Oh, come on, Mark.
No, sir, you see, the great thing about life is that you don't know when you're going to die. I mean, it's indefinite. It could be now, this minute, or in 50 years' time. So for all practical purposes, it's no good considering it. But my work has been my life so far, and that life has its date of death decided. The year, the month, even the day. Well, all I'm saying is, it's an uncomfortable thought.
Perhaps uncomfortable enough to force you to give up your place on the ladder, to develop other sides of your life.
Well, that could be an unconscious motive, I suppose. But no, really, I was thinking more of the quality of my life now.
Well, I hope so, Mark. Otherwise, we've made the wrong decision. Yeah. All right, I have to retire from this job in a few years, but by God, I'll get another. On a board, or as a financial advisor or representative for a foreign bank. Something.
Of course.
But there isn't that opportunity for every ordinary bank manager who retires.
Oh, no, I realize that, but isn't there something odd about working every moment of your life, failing to explore all sorts of interesting avenues, so you can get a good job when you're 60?
But, Mr. Burton, you did assure Mr. Telford that you told him everything. All your debts.
I forgot this one.
A court judgment against you, and you forgot it.
I know it sounds impossible, but I did. Just last week when it was so difficult, I just forgot about it.
Well, I'm afraid things are far more difficult now.
What are you going to do?
It's a very serious situation, Mr. Burton. You'll have to see Mr. Telford tomorrow.
Ah, well, what about the checks you're stopping today?
But we feel we have no choice.
What do you mean, no choice? You mean you could if you wanted to, in spite of this Garnishee thing?
A Garnishee order is only effective if it's served on another debtor of yours. Well, we're certainly not that. You're a debtor of ours to the extent of thousands.
So you could pay those checks?
Technically, yes.
Well, listen.
We would just be increasing your debt, not paying out money of yours frozen for another debt.
Well, listen, then please do it. I mean, if you return those checks, I'm finished. They're both to people who would cause me a lot of trouble if they got my checks back, no doubt about it.
I have my instructions from Mr. Telford.
Well, get on to him again, mate. Look, according to Sir Tony Brooke, and he gave me this cheque for $5,000. It's on account of all that shoving. If I pay this in, surely you can pay those checks.
It's a good job Canterbury Building Supplies didn't know about Mr. Brooke, or he'd have received the order.
Yeah, look, will you pay those checks?
Are you absolutely sure that there are no more debts we don't know about?
Right, absolutely sure, I promise.
Well, I can't promise. I could try to get hold of Mr. Telford.
Yeah, but what will you do if you can't?
Oh, that's excellent.
And I finished the outline for the wages operation, the cash transmission and so on. Don't think there'll be any problem there.
Excellent.
It's Mr. Everly, Assistant Manager of Dover for Mr. Telford.
Is it really urgent?
He says so.
Yes, all right.
Sorry, sir. Thank you. Hello. No, that's all right.
It's Burton. He's begging us to pay those checks.
And he's brought in a cheque for $5,000 from Brooks.
Oh, some good news, anyway.
He says if we return the checks, the creditors are sure to take him to court.
Is there anything else we don't know, do you think?
I don't think so. I hammered him, but I couldn't get anything else out of him.
I see. So, what's your recommendation?
I think we should pay them.
Yes, all right, do that. I'll see you tomorrow.
Of course, there may be something
Well,
else.
there may, but you have to make a decision. Now you've talked to Burton, do you recommend paying?
Yes.
All right, do it. Bye. Sorry, sir, that was my Garnishee order.
Garnishee, excuse me, what is that?
Well, it's a complicated piece of English law. If you really want to know, you better ask my assistant.
Must be a lot of money.
£200.
Oh, really?
And you have just loaned me $5 million?
Well, if you want to buy a building firm with part of it, I know where one's going cheap.
Thank you, but I have no need of a builder who cannot lay his hand on £200.
Yes, we're paying the checks.
Oh, good. Thanks very much.
Now, you do understand that this is your last chance.
Oh, yes. I'm very grateful.
And you'll come in tomorrow when Mr. Telford will want to speak to you.
Yeah. I'll be there first thing.
Right. Good afternoon. I've just told him we're paying those checks.
Did you decide to pay them?
Not actually. I phoned the boss. He asked for my recommendation.
And you said pay?
Yes.
Brave.
Oh, not really. He'll have to carry the can, if any.
Yes, but you said
I
pay.
do think we've got all the information.
expect Burton could have kissed you.
Yes. But he's not my type.
Who is then?
You.
Me?
I mean it.
I don't know what to say.
You could say yes.
Yes to what?
That you'll come out for a drink with me tonight?
What's come over you, Keith?
Oh, what do you mean? I'm a perfectly normal male. I can see you're a very attractive girl.
Yes, but you haven't even so much as he.
You'd rather I had pinched your bottom every time you passed.
You'd have got your shins kicked.
There we are, then.
Where?
The King's Head at 8 o'clock.
All right.
I'll pick you up.
Thank you. I live in 30.
I know. Number 16, ground floor flat.
Anyone at home? Sylvia, is that you?
It's me. Hello, Dad. What are you doing home?
Well, I had a meeting in town, so I thought I'd stop over.
Marvellous. Where's Mum?
She had an interview this morning. I don't know where she is now.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, well, she probably got the job and's gone out on the razzle.
I'm just making some tea. Do you want a cup?
No, I'll have a tahini spread.
Yes, all right.
How's Dover?
Very nice.
Enjoying it?
Very much.
Not bored yet, then?
Bored? Why should I be bored?
Oh, no reason. I wonder how Mum got on today.
Yes.
Do you want her to get it?
If she wants it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, of course she wants it. She wouldn't be going for the interview otherwise, would she?
I suppose not, no. Do you want her to get it?
Yes, I do.
That's very definite.
Well, we could stay in London if she does.
But this doesn't affect you really, does it, Peter? You'll be off to university and virtually have left home.
Oh, no, hardly. There's long vacs.
Well, yes, but Dover would be marvellous.
You see, I don't want to come back to a place where I've got no roots. I don't know anyone.
Of course, you may not get your A-levels. How's it going?
Not so bad.
How's Jenny?
Oh, pretty good.
I would describe this as the most scintillating conversation of all time.
Well, I didn't know we were recording it for posterity.
You still seeing her?
Oh, yes, yes, and we're getting on well. The group's going well, too. We're writing our own songs.
Oh, yes. Do you perform?
Oh, at school, you know.
You know, I really want to make a go of this job in Dover and get to enjoy it.
What do you mean you're not enjoying it at present?
No, I don't mean that.
Oh, sorry. Who are you trying to convince? Me or you? Oh, that'll be Mum.
Ma! Oh, darling, how nice to see you. Oh, how long have you been home? Did you come home to celebrate?
You got the job, then?
From the look of the names on those parcels, I should jolly well hope so.
Yes, I did. I interviewed him and I got it.
You interviewed him?
No, I really did. Wait till I tell you, it was absolutely fantastic. And then lunch at Angelo's and then shopping up. Oh, what a day. Oh, is that tea there? That's just what I
Hey,
need.
look now, steady on, sit down. I'll pour the tea. You'll blow a fuse.
Oh, Tim Hart was marvellous. He was really civilised.
Yes, I know. I've looked him up. One of his greatest triumphs, I see, was that show, Undressed to Kill.
Yes, I know. But a commercial management has to make money. They're not subsidised,
all right.
you
You
know.
don't have to convince me that a business must be profitable.
Well, anyway, he's got... Oh, just a minute. I must take these boots. He's got all sorts of plans for finding new quality plays, and that's where I fit in, because he said that with all my Arts Council background, I probably knew the new writing scene better than he did. Wait, and I start on Monday, and I've got the most wonderful office, which he says I can decorate how I choose. Oh, something about making it more homely, but I don't want to do that. And over lunch, he really convinced me that he wanted to find new, good plays. He was very witty about it. He compared it to buying a new dress.
I see you've started work already, then.
Oh, wait till you see what I bought. I've blown the whole of the first month's salary in one afternoon.
Oh. He paid you in advance, did he?
Oh, come on, don't be so stuffy. You don't mind, do you?
No.
It's good of you to come home. I do appreciate it. Did you have to leave very early?
Well, actually, I had to go to lunch at the head office, but I heard about it only this morning.
Oh. Still, I came home and instead of going straight back, that was nice.
So, what's it like being a career woman, then, Mum?
No, do. I mean, all I've done so far is spend my salary. I did enjoy that.
I tried to ring you this morning, actually, to wish you luck, but I was too late. You left.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I left ridiculously early. I had to spend an hour in a coffee bar. By the time I actually got to the interview, I was terrified.
Still, you did it.
Yes.
Congratulations. Hey, does that mean we'll get free tickets?
God, you're a mercenary devil. Oh, heavens, look at that. I must go. Oh, dear. Oh! Oh, these shoot. Oh, I won't be a moment.
Dad, you won't spoil Mum's happiness, will you?
Why should I do that?
Well, because you don't want her to get a job. At least, not in London.
Now, that's not fair, Peter.
Well, that's all right, then. I just wanted to say...
Yes, you said it.
Sorry, Dad. I mean, you can spoil things without meaning to sometimes.
Does it occur to you you might be doing just that now?
Chip off the old block, then, eh?
Can you manage this?
Yes, that's right.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
There we are.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, tell me about you.
What? We've worked together for 2 years.
Yes, the secret things.
Even more secret than you found out from reading my file.
Oh, that's just routine, name, date of birth, address.
Ah, you want to know about the other things.
That's right.
Like, do I live alone? And do I? You're shocked.
No, of course not.
Of course not. After all, you're a man of the world.
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, you wouldn't need to ask about those sort of things, would you?
It wouldn't occur to me.
To ask, to wonder, to think of it at all.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Thank God for that, anyway.
Why? I have the distinct impression that I haven't started very well at all.
Well, it was a lovely meal.
Good.
Sure it was. Hey, you want to go shopping in town more often?
Well, I will in future. Food shops and so are marvellous.
Like a brand, did you?
Why not?
What about me?
Bit young for spirits, aren't you?
It's a special occasion.
Oh, go on, Mark. It is special.
Oh, all right.
Thank you. You haven't told me about your day.
Well, nothing much to tell, really. Had a strange thing this morning. We had a Garnishee order served on us.
You didn't?
Yes, we did. Why? Do you know what a Garnishee order is?
Well, it's a High Court order served on a man who owes money to someone by someone else who is also owed money by that man, saying that he must not pay back the money to the man who is owed money by the man who is the subject of that order.
Good Lord.
Well, is he right?
I think so. Technically, it's an order served on a debtor of a judgment debtor by a judgment creditor.
Oh, yeah, well, more elegant, but the same thing.
But how on earth did you know that? I didn't until this morning. My assistant had to explain it to me. Do you know, I've visions of Garnishee orders flying by thick and fast to everyone under 35 because they all seem to know.
Well, it's pure fluke, actually. I was skimming through a commercial dictionary and this word just caught my fancy.
Is it very serious?
Well, not for us. Bit of a nuisance, really, that's all. Waste of money for the creditor, too. The chap owes us thousands, so there's nothing to seize.
So what happens?
Well, nothing really. Our legal chaps will go to court and say the cupboard's bare, and that's that. My customer gets his knuckles rapped, of course, for not telling us of the judgment debt, and on we go, each of us hoping against hope he'll pull himself out of the mire and be able to pay us both off.
Oh, poor chap.
And on that demonstration of commercial knowledge, I leave you.
Some work to do?
No, not tonight. Not really. It's the group.
Oh, what about your coffee?
Oh, no, I'm not taking artificial stimulants.
Yeah, he doesn't do enough work.
Oh, not tonight, Mark. Especially after his Garnishee.
Yeah, that was funny.
Listen, I must go and hang up these... Would you like to see my new dress?
Yes, I'd love to.
Oh, he is. He's a very attractive man.
Yes, I suppose so.
Every inch the manager.
Odd, though. I mean, to give it all up.
Yes, that is odd.
I expect you find it romantic, giving everything up for the simple life.
Actually, I find it a bit wet.
Well, that's hard, isn't it? You don't know why he did it, after all.
No, it's true, but it would have to be for a very good reason.
I wonder what his wife makes of it.
Yeah, so do I.
What would you think?
Well, like I said, it would depend on the reason.
Well, supposing there isn't a deeper reason, if it's just because he's fed up with the jet set.
I'd be disappointed. Like I said, I find it a bit wet. I get to be an international manager. I'm damned if you'd find me asking to come back to somewhere like Dover.
No. And you plan to get on, do you?
Yes.
Good.
I'm glad you approve.
Are you going to try and put me down all evening?
What do you mean?
I think you know.
No, I'm sorry.
I don't trust the sort of woman who wants to be liberated just to be free to cut off a man's balls.
Do you think I'm like that?
Well, not necessarily, but I'd say you'd established a prima facie case.
I'm sorry. Looks like I haven't started very well either.
Well, I think we've established we both got teeth. So why don't we go and eat?
I'd like that.
And we can both start again.
Oh, very nice.
Do you like it?
Yes, I do, very much.
Good. Oh, you're not very happy, are you?
No, I'm fine.
You're angry about my job?
No, absolutely not.
I don't mean angry, I mean worried or disappointed.
Oh, it's not as simple as that. But look, Sylvia, this is your day, and I don't want to spoil it.
It's no good playing games of let's pretend everything in the garden's lovely.
Well, it's just we're in a transition. We're both moving, but in opposite directions.
It is my job, isn't it?
No, not in isolation. If I'd still been in the international division, it would have been an excellent idea.
Are you sorry that you gave that up?
No. We had lunch today. We were talking about retirement.
Retirement, for heaven's sakes, that's years away.
Well, it's not so far away. It's not worrying about what I'll do when I retire. I mean, that's not it. It's just that thinking about retirement puts a different perspective on your life now.
On life apart from work.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that work isn't important. It is. It's very important to me. But there does have to be other things, other relationships.
You mean if you didn't have to retire, you could make your work your whole life?
Well, you could. Whether it'd be a good idea is another thing altogether.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you ought to have other things in your life apart from work.
Yes, well, I was losing that. I mean, work was absolutely challenging, but it was all there was. I was losing you, I was losing Peter. I was paying too high a price for the stimulation of... I was a work junkie. And the mind keeps on a high because of continual shots, but the rest of the personality declines from malnutrition, neglect.
So you put yourself on a sensible, bland diet to build yourself up again?
I suppose so.
Oh, yes, but Mark, I've been on that bland, sensible diet for years, and I'm bored stiff with it.
I realize that. That was one of the reasons for the change. To broaden our lives together, to use the boat more, to... well, to see each other occasionally, I suppose.
It's not enough, Mark. Look, I'm not here just to change my function in response to you. I've got my own life, too.
I realize that.
Yes, but do you? Do you really? Look, we've been married, nearly 19 years. We've built up this home. We've brought up Peter, but that's been my life, not yours. And I've done it. It's finished. I can't just go on deciding to change the colour of the curtains or choosing an endless line of dinners to cook. God, you were worrying about retiring in 15 years' time. I've retired now. I've done my job, and I want another one.
Yes, I understand that.
Yes, you keep saying that, Mark, but do you really? You changed your job because you feel that your needs have changed. Well, that's fine. I've done the same. And you made the first move, as a matter of fact.
I want us to capitalize on what we have, to spread ourselves, to widen our lives. You want to take off. You've suddenly become ambitious, just as I was when I was 20, when I just started.
That's it. That's precisely it. I am just starting, and I am ambitious. Oh, didn't you enjoy your climb?
You know I did. But the move from the 9th step to the 10th is not so exciting.
Oh, yes, but the step onto the first rung from the ground is wild, and you can't stop me, Mark.
Do you think I want to? Don't lie, I will be cast as a villain in your private play. I'm not a possessive husband, terrified of every step you take outside the home. All right, Doc, let's get the cards on the table. Do you think it was a mistake for me to give up the international job?
Oh, look, that's not for me to judge.
It is if I ask.
Oh, you're asking too much. I have to trust that you know what's good.
Do you think I made a mistake?
Yes, I do.
I see. It would be much more convenient if I did spend most of the time away from home.
Look, that's not worthy of you, Mark. I was trying to think of you.
I'm sorry, but everybody persists in seeing my move as a retreat. It's not. It's just a change.
Yes, well, that's fine. If you're completely happy about it, what does it matter what everybody else thinks?
Resist the feeling that I served a Garnishee order on our joint account, but it was overdrawn. Anyone at home?